In 1943, deep inside a quiet English forest, 4 young boys made a discovery that would become one of Britain's most haunting and darkest unsolved mysteries. Hidden inside the hollow trunk of an ancient wych elm tree, where no one was ever meant to look, was a human skull. But that was only the beginning. Whoever placed her there didn't just want to hide a body. They wanted her to vanish from the world forever. This is the chilling true story of Bella in the Wych Elm. If you're already feeling the tension, drop a comment below, because from here on, it only gets worse. It was a cold day in April 1943, right in the middle of World War II. Britain was still living under the constant shadow of German bombs, rationing, and fear of spies. In the rural countryside of Hagley Wood, Worcestershire, 4 local boys, Tommy Willits, Bob Hart, Fred Payne, and a 13-year-old friend, had sneaked into the private woodland to hunt for birds' nests. As they climbed an old, gnarled wych elm tree, one of the boys looked into a dark hollow in the trunk and reached inside. What he pulled out wasn't a bird's egg or a ball. It was a human skull, with strands of hair still attached and empty eye sockets staring back at him. The boys were horrified. They swore each other to secrecy, terrified they would be punished for trespassing. It took several weeks before one of them finally told his father, and the police were called. When officers arrived and fully examined the tree, they uncovered a nightmare. The almost complete skeleton of a woman had been brutally forced and stuffed deep into the narrow hollow trunk. Her body was pushed in while it was still flexible, indicating she had been placed there shortly after death, probably within a few hours or days. Forensic experts determined she was between 30 and 35 years old, around 5 feet, 152 centimeters tall, with brown hair and distinctive irregular teeth. She had given birth to at least 1 child. She had been dead for approximately 18 months, meaning she was murdered around October 1941. A piece of peach-colored taffeta cloth was tightly stuffed in her mouth, clear evidence she had been suffocated or deliberately silenced. Her right hand had been severed and was later discovered buried a short distance away in the woods. Around her remains were fragments of her clothing: a dark blue striped knitted cardigan, a light blue skirt with a zip, brown crepe-soled shoes, and a cheap imitation gold wedding ring. There were no laundry marks, no identification papers, and no personal belongings that could reveal her name. Then, several months after the discovery, in late 1943 and 1944, the case took an even more disturbing turn. Mysterious chalk graffiti began appearing overnight on walls, buildings, and bridges across Birmingham and the surrounding Black Country area. The haunting message, written in neat capital letters, read, "Who put Bella in the Wych Elm?" Later messages even appeared on the tall Witchbury obelisk, a local landmark near the woods. The graffiti kept returning for years. Police would wash it off, only for it to reappear again. It felt like someone was taunting the authorities and making sure the victim was never forgotten. Who named her Bella? Was it her real name, a nickname, or a clue from the killer? Over the decades, multiple theories have been investigated. Some believed she was a foreign spy, possibly German or Dutch, executed by British intelligence during the war. Others thought she was a local factory worker or barmaid involved in black market dealings, an unwanted pregnancy, or a dangerous affair. One of the most disturbing theories involves the occult: the severed hand, the ritual-like placement inside a living tree, and the secrecy all pointed toward possible witchcraft or black magic rituals that were rumored to happen in isolated English woods during wartime. Police interviewed hundreds of people, checked thousands of missing persons reports across Britain, and even consulted MI5. Yet no positive identification was ever made. Even today, Bella's actual bones have been missing since the 1970s, making DNA testing impossible. Several facial reconstructions have been created from the original skull photographs, showing a woman with striking eyes and wavy brown hair. But they have still not solved the mystery. More than 80 years later, in 2026, Bella remains one of Britain's most eerie and heartbreaking unsolved mysteries. No confirmed name, no killer ever caught, no justice, just the skeleton of a woman, violently stuffed inside a lonely wych elm tree in an English wood. And a single haunting question that still echoes on walls and in our minds: who put Bella in the wych elm? And the most terrifying possibility of all is that someone, somewhere, has known the full truth this entire time and chose to take it to their grave.